What if I told you that Persia never truly disappeared? It simply changed its name. Why would a nation with thousands of years of history choose, in the middle of the 20th century, to present itself to the world under a different identity? To understand that decision, we have to journey through the rise of glorious empires, the devastation of brutal invasions, and the political choices that reshaped how an entire people were remembered. This is more than the story of a country. It's the story of how power, religion, and global image can influence the destiny of a civilization. What you're about to explore goes far beyond a simple name change. Imagine a land surrounded by towering mountains, scorching deserts, and ancient trade routes, where more than merchandise flowed. Identity, power, and legacy moved along those paths as well. That land is the Iranian Plateau, a strategic region that has served for millennia as a cradle of civilizations. But how did it all begin? And who were the true architects of what we now know today as Iran? Ar meant mother, and Pedar meant father, linguistic echoes that reflect deep Indo-European connections. These were more than just words, they were the foundation of a distinct, ancient culture. Among these migrating groups, two emerged as especially significant: the Medes and the Persians. The Medes settled in the northwest of present-day Iran. They were organized, powerful, and quickly established themselves as a dominant regional force. The Persians, by contrast, settled farther south in a region known as Pars, the origin of the name Persia. Although the area was fertile and strategically positioned, the Persians were not initially the strongest group. Yet history would soon reveal that this seemingly modest people would rise. At first, Persian was only a limited geographic term. It referred to a specific region, not to an entire civilization. The true center of power in western Iran was the Medes, who established the first great empire in that area long before the name Persia echoed in foreign courts or appeared in history books. But this balance was about to change. In the rugged landscape of mountains and plains, a leader was born whose ambition would transform the region forever: Cyrus, known to history as Cyrus the Great. He envisioned unity beyond tribal divisions and laid the foundations of what became the Achaemenid Empire, the first Persian Empire. Unlike many conquerors of the ancient Near East, Cyrus ruled through respect rather than terror. After defeating the Medes, he unified diverse peoples without imposing a single language or religion. He restored temples, honored local gods, and allowed subject cultures to flourish. For the Jewish exiles in Babylon, he was seen as a liberator. For the Babylonians, a ruler chosen by Marduk. Instead of presenting himself solely as a Persian monarch, he adopted the symbols and legitimacy of the lands he conquered. This strategy proved extraordinarily effective. Under Cyrus and his successors, especially Darius I, the empire expanded from the Indus River to the Aegean Sea and from Egypt to Central Asia. In less than a century, it absorbed the great powers of the ancient world, including Egypt and Babylon, transforming them into provinces administered from imperial capitals such as Persepolis. The empire built an extensive road network, an efficient courier system, and a sophisticated bureaucracy capable not only of control, but of negotiation and administration. Many historians, including Lloyd Llewellyn-Jones, have described it as the world's first superpower. Yet its balance between cultural tolerance and centralized authority was fragile. That balance was shattered in 334 BCE, when a young Macedonian king crossed the Hellespont with a disciplined army. His name was Alexander the Great. Determined to defeat Persia and avenge Greece, he won decisive battles at the Battle of Granicus, the Battle of Issus. At first, his empire fragmented among his generals, the Diadochi, and much of the former Persian territory fell under the rule of the Seleucid Empire. Still, Persia as a cultural and political idea did not disappear. It endured under subsequent powers, including the Parthian Empire, until a new native dynasty emerged, the Sasanian Empire. Claiming descent from the Achaemenids, the Sasanians revived imperial traditions and reaffirmed Zoroastrianism as the state religion centered on Ahura Mazda. Persia once again became a formidable empire. In the 7th century, however, Arab armies inspired by Islam conquered the Sasanian realm. Zoroastrianism gradually gave way to Islam, and Arabic became the language of administration and religion. Persian culture did not vanish, instead it adapted. Over time, Persian language and identity reasserted themselves, even as the region passed through the hands of Turkic and Mongol dynasties, including the conquests of Genghis Khan. Amid constant upheaval, a distinct Persian Muslim identity took shape. A decisive transformation came with the rise of the Safavid dynasty in the 16th century. The Safavids unified the territory and established Twelver Shi'ism as the official religion, distinguishing Iran from the predominantly Sunni Islamic world. Though imposed forcefully, this shift permanently shaped Iranian identity. The Safavids also promoted architecture, philosophy, science, and the arts, blending imperial heritage with Shia spirituality and reviving the ancient name Iran, derived from land of the Aryans. While foreigners continued to use Persia, internally the country increasingly identified itself as Iran. This dual identity persisted into the modern era. In 1935, Reza Shah formally requested that foreign governments use the name Iran instead of Persia. The change aimed to project a modern, sovereign image and move beyond Orientalist stereotypes associated with the older name. Not everyone agreed. For many, Persia symbolized a glorious imperial and cultural legacy. Nevertheless, Iran became the official international name. In 1979, the monarchy was overthrown in the Iranian Revolution, led by Ruhollah Khomeini, and the Islamic Republic of Iran was established. Since then, global perceptions have shifted dramatically, often focusing on political tensions and conflict. Yet the dual legacy endures. Persia evokes an ancient cultural grandeur, while Iran represents the modern nation-state. Two names, one land, and a continuing dialogue between past and present about how history remembers it.